Nearly 2 decades after Doris Warrell was found shot to death at her family's sports park in Georgia, an arrest has finally been made, and the suspect is her own husband. John Warrell, 58, was just taken into custody in Missouri in connection with his wife's 2006 murder after new evidence surfaced. What initially looked like a robbery gone wrong or a gang-related killing now appears to be a carefully planned crime fueled by infidelity and greedy background of the case. John and Doris Warrell met in college, got married, and built a stable life together in Douglas, Georgia. They owned and operated John's Sports Park, a popular family entertainment center, and were well known in their community for their generosity. The couple had 3 young children and appeared to have a stable and happy marriage. However, everything changed when the couple crossed paths with Paula Yarberry, a teenage immigrant from Venezuela who had been abandoned at their church. The Warrells, known for their kindness, took her into their home. Paula initially stayed with them temporarily but eventually became the family's live-in nanny. John and Paula eventually began a romantic relationship, and Doris grew suspicious after rumors of the affair started circulating around town. When she eventually confirmed that John and Paula were involved in an affair, she was reportedly heartbroken, and this strained the Warrells' marriage. According to authorities, John was afraid he'd lose custody of his children if Doris decided to leave him, so he allegedly planned and carried out her murder, the day of the murder. On September 20, 2006, John Warrell, his wife Doris, and their live-in nanny, Paula Yarberry, arrived at their family-owned amusement park. They were there to do a deep cleaning task they had planned earlier, according to True Crime News. At approximately 9:30 a.m., John left the premises, telling Doris and Paula he needed to make a trip to a local hardware store. Doris and Paula were alone at the sports park when, shortly before 11:15 a.m., gunshots suddenly rang out. When John returned, he found Doris lying unresponsive on the ground, fatally shot in the head at close range. He called 911, and emergency responders arrived quickly. But sadly, Doris was pronounced dead at the scene. Paula, who was with Doris moments earlier, was found hiding inside a playground tunnel nearby. She claimed that she went to hide there after hearing the gunshot, fearing for her own safety. The criminal investigation into Doris Warrell murder. At the start of the investigation, police thought it might have been a robbery gone wrong, but Doris's belongings were untouched. After ruling out robbery, they looked into gang retaliation, since John had kicked out some disruptive customers with suspected gang connections from the sports park before. However, crime scene investigators found no credible evidence linking any outside individuals to the crime. Suspicion soon shifted to those closest to Doris, especially after friends and family spoke about the problems in her marriage. Detectives learned that John had been engaged in an affair with Paula, the family's live-in nanny, and that Doris had recently confronted him about it. When questioned, John initially cooperated with authorities, but as detectives pressed for more information, he invoked his right to an attorney and stopped cooperating. Since Paula was an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, authorities used her immigration status to pressure her for information. They threatened to deport her unless she cooperated and shared what she knew about the murder. At first, Paula reportedly said that she knew more than she was saying but refused to fully open up. She was eventually deported in 2007, and she moved to Costa Rica. In 2008, investigators arrested 2 men, Glidden Rodriguez and Brandon Cage, on suspicion of conspiring to commit murder. Both were connected to John and believed to have helped plan the killing. However, the men denied being a part of the crime, so prosecutors dropped the charges due to lack of evidence. The case eventually went cold, leaving Doris Warrell's family without answers for years, until 2023. John Warrell's arrest and latest developments. After Doris Warrell's murder in 2006, John Warrell relocated to Florida before eventually moving to Costa Rica to join Paula Yarberry. The pair lived together as a couple for years, raising John and Doris's 3 children while the murder investigation in Georgia remained unresolved. Their relationship eventually fell apart, leading to a separation. John moved back to the United States and settled in Missouri, while Paula stayed in Central America. After the breakup, Paula began cooperating with investigators and shared new details about Doris's murder that she hadn't revealed before. Acting on the new information Paula revealed, detectives arrested John Warrell on April 12, 2024. He was taken into custody at his home in Missouri without incident, as reported by Law and Crime. John waived extradition and was transferred to the Coffee County Jail, where he is being held without bond. John faces multiple felony charges, including malice murder, felony murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and aggravated assault. At this time, authorities have chosen not to reveal the specific details of Paula's statements. John Warrell's arrest has brought renewed attention to this cold case, with officials stressing that no homicide investigation is ever truly closed. While no trial date has been set, prosecutors believe that John planned his wife's killing to avoid a costly divorce and maintain custody of their children. Meanwhile, Paula's current whereabouts and legal status remain unclear. Law enforcement sources confirm she is not facing charges related to the murder but may be called as a witness. The district attorney's office has stated that additional developments are expected as the case moves toward trial.